Welcome to Read and Learn English. Today, let me ask you a question that can touch your heart and open your mind. What if humans were told they could never reach the moon? For thousands of years, people looked up at the moon in silence. It was bright, quiet, and very far away. People dreamed about it, but they also feared it. Many believed the moon was not for humans. They said it was too far, too cold, and too dangerous. Ordinary people stayed on Earth and accepted limits. They lived their lives between birth and death without asking big questions. But deep inside, humans always looked up. They always wondered. They always dreamed. This is where every great story begins, with a simple question and a brave heart. This story is about the moon landing, but it is also about you. It is about courage, patience, and belief. On this channel, we use real stories to help you learn English and grow stronger inside. You are not here only to learn words and grammar. You are here to build confidence, to speak with courage, and to believe in yourself. This story will help you practice English slowly and clearly. At the same time, it will remind you that big change is possible. Many people think success belongs only to special people, rich people, or smart people. But history shows something different. Ordinary people with strong belief can change the world. The moon landing proves this truth. Before humans reached the moon, there was fear everywhere. People were afraid of failure. They were afraid of death. They were afraid of the unknown. Some people said, "Stay on Earth. Stay safe. Do not try." Others said, "We must try." This is the same choice you face in life. You can stay in your comfort zone, or you can move forward. You can stay quiet, or you can speak. You can give excuses, or you can give effort. Learning English feels the same way. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You may feel shy, you may feel slow, you may feel afraid of mistakes, but every confident speaker was once afraid. Every success story starts with struggle. Think about this carefully. The people who reached the moon were not superheroes. They were humans like you. They felt fear. They made mistakes. They failed many times. But they did not stop. They practiced. They prepared. They believed. They took small steps every day. This is an important lesson for your life. Success is not fast. Success is patient. Success is built slowly. When you learn English, do not rush. Do not compare yourself to others. Move at your own speed. Every word you learn is a step forward. Every mistake is a teacher. Fear means you care. Courage means you move anyway. This story is not only history, it is a message for your life today. You may feel small in a big world. You may feel lost. You may feel that your dreams are too big for you. But listen to me carefully. Every big dream starts small. Every strong person was once weak. The moon looked impossible until humans believed it was possible. Your goals may look far away now, but belief brings them closer. When you believe, your actions change. When your actions change, your life changes. This story will remind you that you are stronger than you think. You are capable of more than you imagine. As you listen, imagine yourself standing at the beginning of a very big dream. You are at the starting line. Your heart is beating fast. You feel fear and excitement together. You do not know every step yet, and that is okay. Nobody does. What matters is the first step. This story begins with belief. Your journey begins now. Walk with me. Listen carefully. Let this story guide you forward. The moon is far, but your dream is waiting. A world that looked up at the moon. Before humans ever walked on the moon, the world was very different. People lived their daily lives on Earth, worked hard, raised families, and followed the same routines every day. At night, when the sky became dark and quiet, many people looked up. They saw the moon hanging above them, calm and bright. It did not move fast. It did not speak. It only watched. For thousands of years, the moon was a silent friend and a silent mystery. People wrote poems about it. They told stories about it. They used it to count time and seasons. But they never believed they could touch it. The moon felt close to the eyes, but very far from the hands. For many people, the moon was a dream, not a place. Children looked at it with wide eyes and strong imagination. They asked questions like, "What is up there? And can anyone go there?" Adults often smiled and said, "No, that is not possible." This was the difference between dreaming and doubting. Dreaming was easy for the young. Doubting was common for the old. The moon became a symbol of imagination, but also a symbol of limits. Humans believed there were lines they could not cross. Earth was home. Space was danger. The sky was a wall, not a road. At that time, space felt cold, dark, and deadly. People believed that no human body could survive there. There was no air to breathe, no ground to stand on, and no clear way to return home. Many believed that space would kill anyone who tried to enter it. Fear lived inside the idea of space travel. Fear spoke loudly and said, "Stay where you are." It told people that safety was more important than curiosity. It told them that trying was foolish. For a long time, fear won. Humans stayed on Earth and only watched the moon from far away. Culture also shaped these beliefs. In many stories, the moon was magical or holy. Some cultures believed gods lived there. Others believed it controlled human feelings. Because of this, the moon did not feel like a place for humans. It felt too powerful, too special, too far beyond human life. People respected it, but they did not challenge it. Reality and imagination stayed separate. Reality was Earth. Imagination was the moon. The line between them felt strong and unbreakable. But even in those quiet years, something was growing. Humans were learning. Science was changing the way people understood the world. Machines became stronger. Knowledge became deeper. Some people started to ask new questions. They did not only look at the moon with wonder, they looked at it with curiosity and purpose. They asked, well, why not? They asked, what if? This was the beginning of change. When questions change, the future changes too. Still, doubt did not disappear. Many people laughed at the idea of reaching the moon. They said it was a waste of time and money. They said humans had too many problems on Earth already. Hunger, war, and poverty felt more important than space. These people believed dreams were dangerous because they took focus away from real life. They chose safety over vision. This is a common human habit. When something feels too big, many people choose to turn away. At the same time, dreamers did not stop dreaming. They looked at the moon and felt something strong inside them. They felt a pull, like a quiet voice saying, there is more. These dreamers were not loud at first. They worked quietly. They studied. They tested ideas. They failed many times, but they did not stop. They understood something important. Imagination is the first step to reality. Without imagination, nothing new is born. This contrast between dreamers and doubters shaped the world before the moon landing. One side saw limits, the other side saw possibility. One side focused on fear, the other focused on hope. History often changes when hope becomes stronger than fear. This moment was coming. slowly but surely. Humans were standing at a crossroads. They could keep looking up forever, or they could decide to move. In daily life, people still lived normal lives. They went to work, came home, ate dinner, and slept. The moon stayed the same in the sky, night after night. But inside human mind, something was changing. The moon was no longer only a symbol, it was becoming a goal. A far goal, yes, but a real one. The distance did not disappear, but belief began to grow. This is how big change always starts. Not with action, but with thought. Not with success, but with questions. Before any step is taken, someone must believe a step is possible. The world before the moon landing was full of limits, but also full of quiet courage. People were moving from dreaming to planning, from imagination to decision. The moon was still far away, still silent, still unreachable by the hands. But in the human mind, the distance was slowly becoming smaller. The time for action was getting closer. The decision to try the impossible. There came a moment when looking at the moon was no longer enough. Humans had dreamed, wondered, and imagined for a long time. But dreaming alone could not change history. At some point, someone had to decide to act. This decision did not come easily. It was heavy, risky, and full of fear. Leaders and scientists sat together and asked a dangerous question. What if we try to send humans to the moon? This question was not exciting for everyone. For many people, it sounded crazy. They felt fear in their hearts before they felt hope. Many voices spoke against the idea. Some people said, it's too hard. Others said, it's too expensive. Many said, it's too dangerous. They were not evil people. They were careful people. They wanted safety. They wanted comfort. They wanted life to stay the same. They believed humans should stay on Earth and solve Earth's problems only. These people believed limits were there for a reason. In their minds, trying the impossible was foolish. Fear made their voices loud and strong. But there was another group of people. They were not fearless, but they were brave. They did not say, it's easy. They said, let's try. They understood the danger. They knew people could fail. They knew lives could be lost. Still, something inside them pushed forward. They believed that humans grow by trying, not by hiding. They believed progress comes from effort, not comfort. This belief was quiet but powerful. This contrast changed everything. On one side were people who chose comfort over effort. On the other side were people who chose effort over comfort. Comfort feels warm and safe. Effort feels scary and painful. Most people choose comfort because it feels good now. Very few choose effort because it hurts now but brings growth later. The decision to go to the moon was a decision to accept pain today for a better tomorrow. The leaders who supported the mission faced strong criticism. People laughed at them. People called them dreamers. People said they were wasting time and money. This criticism hurt. It created pressure. Doubt entered their minds at night when they were alone. Fear whispered, what if you fail? Fear always speaks when something matters. The easy choice would have been to stop. The safe choice would have been to stay silent. But they did not stop. They moved forward with shaking hands and brave hearts. Scientists also felt the weight of this decision. They knew the numbers. They knew the risks. They knew how many things could go wrong. Rockets could fail. Systems could break. Humans could die. This was not a movie. This was real life. Every mistake could be final. Many scientists felt fear, but they also felt responsibility. They believed that knowledge grows only when humans push boundaries. They accepted that failure was possible, but they believed not trying was worse. This moment in history teaches a deep lesson. Big change never feels safe at the start. Growth always asks a price. That price is fear, doubt, and effort. The moon landing began not with a rocket, but with a decision to try, a decision to believe effort was worth the risk. This is where history turned. Now listen to me carefully. This decision is not only part of history, it is part of your life too. Every time you choose to learn English, you face the same choice. You can say, it's too hard. You can say, I'm too old. You can say, I'm not good enough. These are the voices of comfort. They want you to stay the same. They want you to stay safe. But safety does not bring growth. There is another voice inside you. It is quieter. It says, let's try. It says, one step is enough. It says, I can learn slowly. Choosing to learn English is choosing effort over comfort. It means making mistakes. It means feeling shy. It means speaking even when your voice shakes. But this effort builds confidence. Comfort builds nothing. Self-growth works the same way. When you choose to wake up early, you choose effort. When you choose to practice, you choose effort. When you choose discipline instead of excuses, you choose effort. It is not easy. It was not easy for the people who chose the moon either. But they understood something important. The pain of effort is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. The decision to go to the moon created a new path. Once the decision was made, there was no turning back. Fear did not disappear, but direction became clear. The world moved from dreaming to planning. Questions became actions. Imagination turned into responsibility. This is how real change begins. First you decide, then you prepare. After that, you struggle. Finally, you grow. As this story moves forward, the dream becomes work. The decision becomes preparation. The fear becomes discipline. The journey is about to get harder, not easier. But this is where strength is built. Just like in your life, once you decide to grow, the real work begins. Stay with this story. The next step is not success. The next step is preparation, struggle, and patience. Years of failure, practice, and patience. After the brave decision was made, success did not come quickly. There was no magic moment. There was no fast victory. Instead, there were long years of hard work, failure, and waiting. People often imagine great success as something fast and exciting, but real success is slow and quiet. The journey to the moon was filled with training rooms, test papers, broken machines, and tired minds. Day after day, people worked, failed, fixed mistakes, and tried again. Progress was slow, and many days felt disappointing. Rockets failed again and again. Some did not leave the ground. Some exploded in the air. Plans that looked perfect on paper failed in real life. Every failure brought fear back into people's hearts. Doubters returned and said, "We told you so." They said the dream was too big. They said humans were not ready. Many people felt tired. Some wanted to quit. Failure made the journey feel heavy and painful, but failure also became a teacher. This is where the biggest contrast appeared. Some people wanted fast success. When they did not see quick results, they lost hope. They wanted easy wins and quick praise. When that did not come, they stepped back. Others understood something deeper. They accepted slow progress. They believed that learning takes time. They knew that every failure showed what did not work and that knowledge was valuable. These people stayed. Quitting feels easy in the moment. Continuing feels hard. Quitting removes pain quickly. Continuing builds strength slowly. The people who stayed learned patience. They learned to respect time. They learned that progress is not loud. It does not shout. It whispers. Sometimes progress is only one small improvement after months of effort, but those small improvements add up. Failure became a daily experience. It was not special anymore. It was normal. When something failed, people did not panic as before. They asked questions. They studied the problem. They learned. Failure stopped being the end and became part of the process. This is an important lesson for life. Failure does not mean you are bad. Failure means you are learning. Training became harder and more serious. People practiced again and again. They tested small parts before testing big ones. They repeated the same actions many times until they felt natural. Practice was boring. Practice was tiring, but practice was powerful. Slowly, confidence grew. Confidence did not come from hope. It came from repetition. This is exactly how learning English works. At the beginning, everything feels hard. You forget words. You say sentences wrong. You feel shy when you speak. You may think something is wrong with you, but listen to me carefully. Nothing is wrong with you. This is the process. Forgetting is normal. Making mistakes is normal. Feeling shy is normal. Many learners want fast success. They want to speak fluently in 1 month. When that does not happen, they feel disappointed. They think they are not smart enough. This is the wrong way to think. Language learning is slow progress, one word at a time, one sentence at a time. Just like the moon journey, there are many small failures before success. When you forget a word, that is failure. When you say something wrong, that is failure. But each failure shows you where to improve. If you quit, you learn nothing. If you continue, you grow. Practice builds confidence. The more you practice, the less fear you feel. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you build. During the moon journey, people repeated tasks thousands of times. They trained until actions became automatic. This repetition saved lives later. In the same way, repeating English sentences trains your mouth, your ears, and your brain. English is not only in your head, it is in your lips, your tongue, and your breath. Practice trains the body, not just the mind. There were many moments when people felt hopeless. They asked themselves if the dream was worth the pain. These moments are dangerous. This is where many dreams die. But the people who continued had a strong reason. They believed the goal was bigger than the struggle. They believed their effort mattered. Slow progress tests patience. Patience is not passive. Patience is active, waiting with effort. It means you keep working even when results are not clear. This kind of patience creates strong people. It creates discipline. Discipline is choosing to show up even when motivation is gone. Over time, something beautiful happened. People started to trust each other more. Failure taught them humility. No one could succeed alone. Everyone depended on others. When one part failed, another person helped fix it. Slowly, teamwork grew stronger. Unity was born from struggle. This transition is important. When progress is slow, ego disappears. People stop trying to be heroes. They start trying to help. The moon journey moved from individual effort to collective strength. This is how big dreams survive. They become shared dreams. As we move forward in this story, you will see how teamwork and unity become the foundation of success. The failures did not stop the journey. They shaped it. Practice did not delay success. It prepared it. Patience did not weaken people. It made them strong together. Teamwork, trust, and silent heroes. As the years passed, one truth became very clear. Reaching the moon was not the work of one strong person. It was not the story of one hero standing alone. It was the result of thousands of people working together, trusting each other, and sharing one dream. Behind every test, every plan, and every small improvement, there were many hands and many minds. Some people worked in bright rooms with machines and screens. Others worked quietly in offices, factories, and laboratories. Most of them never appeared on television. Most people never knew their names. But without them, the journey would stop. This is where the idea of the hero changed. At the beginning, many people imagined success as one brave person doing something great. This idea feels exciting, but it is not real. Real success is often quiet. It grows in teamwork. Engineers checked numbers again and again. Scientists studied small details that others did not notice. Support teams fixed problems late at night. Some people worked while others slept. Everyone depended on someone else. No one could say, "I did this alone." Here we see a strong contrast. Some people want personal credit. They want praise, attention, and applause. They want their name to be remembered. This way of thinking creates competition and ego. Ego says, "Look at me." But ego is dangerous in big dreams. It creates mistakes and weak connections. In contrast, working for a shared goal creates trust. Trust says, "We are together." Trust allows people to speak honestly, fix problems early, and support each other. During the moon journey, people learned to let go of ego. They learned that being right was less important than being useful. They learned to listen. When someone found a mistake, others did not attack them. They thanked them. This culture saved time and lives. When people feel safe to speak, problems get solved faster. When people hide mistakes to protect pride, failure grows. The contrast between working alone and working together became very clear. Alone, people feel strong for a moment, but they get tired fast. Together, people feel supported and steady. When one person felt weak, another helped. When one idea failed, another replaced it. This is the power of unity. Unity does not mean everyone is the same. It means everyone moves in the same direction. Trust grew slowly. Trust does not come from words. It comes from action. When people showed up every day, trust grew. When they kept promises, trust grew. When they admitted mistakes, trust grew. This trust allowed teams to move faster and safer. People stopped working in fear and started working in confidence. Confidence does not mean no fear. It means knowing you are not alone. This lesson is very important for your life too. Many people try to grow alone. They hide their struggles. They feel ashamed to ask for help. They believe asking for help means weakness. This is not true. Asking for help is strength. Learning English becomes easier when you practice with others. Speaking becomes easier when you are not alone. Confidence grows faster in a safe group. Think about your own journey. When you try to do everything alone, you feel tired and slow. When you share your goals with others, you feel lighter. Support gives energy. Unity gives courage. Even listening to stories like this is a form of teamwork. Someone prepared this story so you can learn. Someone else will learn from you one day. The silent heroes of the moon journey teach us an important lesson. You do not need fame to matter. You do not need applause to be valuable. Quiet work changes the world. Showing up every day changes the world. Helping others succeed changes the world. This kind of success is deeper and longer lasting. As the teams grew stronger, something else happened. Confidence spread. Not loud confidence, but calm confidence. People trusted the process. They trusted each other. The dream no longer felt impossible. It felt difficult, but real. When many people believe in the same goal, the goal becomes stronger than fear. This unity prepared everyone for the most important moment. The final mission was getting closer. Every test, every failure, every late night built this moment. Teamwork turned chaos into order. Trust turned fear into focus. Silent heroes built the foundation for history. Now the dream was no longer just a dream. It was a mission, a real journey with real risk and real hope. The teams were ready. The systems were tested. The people were prepared. Everything was moving toward one moment. As we move forward in this story, the focus will shift from preparation to action. The final journey is about to begin. The most dangerous journey ever taken. The day finally arrived when preparation ended and action began. After years of planning, testing, and waiting, the moment came to leave Earth. The launch day was not loud inside people's hearts. It was heavy and quiet. Fear filled the air more than excitement. Everyone understood the truth. This journey was the most dangerous one humans had ever tried. There was no promise of success. There was no promise of return. Once the rocket left the ground, everything depended on preparation, teamwork, and hope. The launch site was full of tension. People stood still. Some held their breath. Some closed their eyes. Machines were ready, but human hearts were shaking. The contrast was strong. On the ground, there was safety. People could stay behind, go home, and live normal lives. Above them waited risk, silence, and the unknown. The easy choice was to stay. The brave choice was to go. Humans chose to move forward. When the engine started, the ground shook. The sound was powerful, but inside the rocket, there was silence. The people inside knew that one small mistake could end everything. Every second mattered. Every system had to work perfectly. Fear was real and present. Courage was not the absence of fear. Courage was moving while fear was still there. As the rocket rose, Earth slowly moved away. Home became smaller and smaller. The people inside could not simply return if something went wrong. Space was cold, dark, and unforgiving. There was no help nearby. There was no rescue plan. This was the true meaning of risk. Once you step into the unknown, you must accept the result. This is what made the journey so powerful and so frightening. Silence became part of the journey. Long moments passed with no sound, no movement, only waiting. Waiting tests the mind more than action. In silence, thoughts become louder. Fear asks questions. What if something breaks? What if this was a mistake? What if we never see Earth again? These questions had no answers. The only choice was to trust the work that had been done. This silence teaches us something important. In life, when you step out of your comfort zone, there is often silence too. When you decide to change your life, learn English, or follow a new path, the world does not always cheer. Sometimes no one notices. Sometimes no one helps. You move forward alone with your thoughts. This silence can feel scary. But silence does not mean failure. Silence means you are in motion. Danger was always close. Every part of the journey carried risk. One error could turn success into tragedy. People on Earth watched closely. knowing they could do nothing but wait. Responsibility was heavy. Many lives depended on the success of this mission. The weight of that responsibility was felt by everyone involved. Responsibility is often the hidden cost of big dreams. The contrast between safety and risk became clearer with every passing hour. Safety would have meant staying on Earth, living a normal life, and never knowing what was possible. Risk meant facing fear directly, accepting danger, and stepping into history. Humans chose risk because growth never comes from comfort. Comfort keeps life small. Risk opens new doors. This journey also shows us something about trust. The people traveling trusted the teams behind them. They trusted the engineers, the scientists, and the silent heroes who prepared every detail. Trust allowed them to move forward. In your life, trust plays the same role. You must trust the process. You must trust your effort. You must trust that practice will bring results, even when you cannot see them yet. There was no guarantee of return. This truth makes the journey even more powerful. Humans move forward without certainty. They accepted that failure was possible. Many people wait for perfect conditions before acting. They want guarantees, they want safety, but life offers no guarantees. Waiting for certainty often means waiting forever. The moon journey teaches us that action comes before certainty, not after. As the journey continued, Earth became a distant memory. The people inside the rocket were no longer protected by the familiar. They were surrounded by darkness and stars. This moment represents a deep life lesson. When you truly commit to change, you leave old habits behind. You cannot go back easily. Growth requires separation from comfort. Fear did not disappear during the journey, it stayed present. But fear no longer controlled action. Discipline and focus took over. Every movement was careful, every decision was calm. This balance between fear and focus is powerful. Fear warns you, focus guides you. Together, they keep you alive and moving forward. Think about your own comfort zone. It feels safe because it is familiar. But familiarity does not mean growth. When you choose to speak English, even when you feel shy, you step into risk. When you try again after failing, you step into risk. When you choose discipline over excuses, you step into risk. But this is where confidence is born. The most dangerous journey ever taken was not dangerous because of machines alone. It was dangerous because it challenged human limits. It asked humans to trust themselves, trust each other, and trust the unknown. This is why it matters. This is why it inspires us today. As the journey moved closer to the moon, tension grew stronger. Every moment felt important. Every decision felt final. The world waited. The silence continued. Something historic was about to happen. The long journey through fear, risk, and uncertainty was leading to one moment, a moment that would change human history forever. The next step would not be preparation, it would be action. The moment humanity touched the moon was almost here. One small step, one giant leap. After the long journey through darkness and silence, the moment finally arrived. Humans had reached the moon. The place that once felt only like a dream was now real and close. The surface of the moon was quiet, gray, and empty. There was no sound, no wind, and no life. Only stillness. The world held its breath. Millions of people on Earth watched, waited, and hoped. Time felt slow. This was not just another moment. This was history about to change. Inside the spacecraft, everything was calm but tense. Every movement was careful. Every breath mattered. This was not a moment for speed, it was a moment for control. One mistake could still end everything. Fear had not disappeared, but it was silent now. Focus had taken its place. Step by step, the final preparation was made. Then came the moment humans had imagined for thousands of years. A human foot moved toward the surface of the moon. The first step was slow and gentle. It was not a jump. It was not dramatic. It was small, careful, and quiet. A foot touched the moon. That was all. One small step. But that small step carried the weight of all human history. In that moment, humans were no longer only watchers of the moon. They were part of it. The impossible had become possible. When the famous words were spoken, they were simple, calm, and honest. One small step for a human, one giant leap for humanity. These words were not about pride. They were about meaning. The words showed contrast in the clearest way. One small action can create a huge change. One step can open a new future. One moment can change the story of the world. This step was small in size but giant in impact. The moon did not change, but humans did. Limits broke. Belief grew stronger. The idea of what humans could do expanded forever. The steps showed that imagination and reality are not enemies. When belief meets effort, imagination becomes real. On Earth, people reacted with emotion. Some cried, some smiled, some stood in silence. Different countries, different cultures, different languages. But one shared feeling: humans had done something together. For a moment, borders disappeared. Fear disappeared. The world watched as one. This was not just a victory for science, it was a victory for human belief. Think about this carefully. That step did not belong to one person. It belonged to everyone who believed, worked, failed, and tried again. It belonged to every dreamer who refused to quit. It belonged to every silent hero behind the scenes. This is why the moment was so powerful. It showed that progress is built together. The contrast is clear and important. One small step versus history changed forever. One quiet moment versus a loud message. The message was simple. Humans grow when they dare to try. Growth does not come from comfort. Growth comes from courage, patience, and action. This moment teaches a deep lesson for your life. You may think your actions are too small to matter. You may think your steps are too slow. You may feel that your effort is invisible. But listen to me carefully. Small steps change lives. Speaking one sentence in English is a small step. Practicing for 5 minutes is a small step. Trying again after failure is a small step. But these steps build confidence. These steps build a new future. Many people wait for big moments. They wait to feel ready. They wait for confidence. They wait for perfect conditions. But history shows something different. Confidence comes after action, not before. That small step on the moon was taken with fear still present. Courage does not mean fear is gone. Courage means you move anyway. The world did not change because the step was perfect. The world changed because the step was taken. This is an important difference. Waiting for perfection keeps people stuck. Taking action creates progress. The moon landing reminds us that progress begins with movement, not certainty. As the world watched, something changed inside people's hearts. If humans could reach the moon, what else was possible? Old limits felt weaker. New dreams felt closer. This is the power of inspiration. One act of courage can light hope in millions of minds. Now, as we move forward, the story shifts from action to reflection. What does this moment mean? Why does it still matter today? The step on the moon was not the end. It was a beginning. It opened new questions, new goals, and new responsibilities. The meaning of this moment goes beyond history books. It lives inside every person who dares to dream. As we continue, we will reflect on the lessons hidden inside this giant leap. Lessons about belief, effort, patience, and human strength. This moment was small in action, but infinite in meaning. The journey does not stop here. The real lesson is just beginning. What the moon landing taught humanity. The moon landing was not only about space and science, it was a deep lesson about life. It showed humanity how growth really works. It taught lessons that still matter today, in daily life, in learning English, in careers, and in personal dreams. These lessons are simple but powerful. When we understand them, we see our own lives in a new way. The first lesson is this: believe before you see results. Before humans touched the moon, no one could see success. There were no clear results. There were only plans, practice, and hope. Many people wanted proof first. They wanted to see success before believing. This is the wrong mindset. Waiting for results before believing keeps people stuck. The right mindset is believing first, even when nothing is visible yet. Belief is the seed. Results are the fruit. The moon landing happened because people believed long before success arrived. This lesson is important for your life. When you learn English, you may not see progress every day. Some days feel empty, some days feel slow. If you wait to believe until you speak perfectly, you will stop too early. Believe before results. Trust your effort. Trust the process. Belief keeps you moving when progress feels invisible. Without belief, effort dies. The second lesson is this: prepare before success. Many people think success comes from luck or talent. The moon landing shows the opposite. Success came from years of preparation. People trained, tested, failed, and tried again. They did not wait for the final moment to prepare. They prepared long before anyone watched. The wrong mindset is wanting success without preparation. The right mindset is respecting preparation as part of success. Preparation is often boring and quiet. No one claps when you practice alone. No one praises you when you repeat the same task again and again. But preparation builds strength. When the moment arrives, preparation becomes confidence. This is true for English learning. Speaking well comes from practice. Confidence comes from repetition. Preparation makes difficult moments easier. Think about your career and your goals. If you prepare only when opportunity arrives, you are too late. Preparation must come first. The moon landing reminds us that success is built before it is seen. Hard work in silence creates success in public. The third lesson is this: fear does not mean stop. Fear was present at every stage of the moon journey. Fear did not disappear, but fear did not control action. The wrong mindset is thinking fear means danger or failure. The right mindset is understanding fear as a sign of importance. Fear appears when something matters. It means you care. When you feel fear speaking English, it means English matters to you. When you feel fear trying something new, it means growth is near. Fear is not an enemy. Fear is a signal. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement with fear. The moon landing happened because people moved forward even while fear was present. Many people stop when fear appears. They say, "I am afraid, so I cannot do this." This belief limits life. The moon landing teaches a different truth. Fear and action can exist together. You can be afraid and still try. You can be nervous and still speak. You can doubt and still move forward. These three lessons work together. Belief gives direction, preparation gives strength, courage gives movement. Without belief, you quit. Without preparation, you fail. Without courage, you never start. Humanity learned this through the moon landing, but these lessons belong to everyone. In daily life, these lessons appear in small moments. Waking up early to practice is belief. Studying when you feel tired is preparation. Speaking even when your voice shakes is courage. Small actions follow the same rules as big history moments. The difference is size, not meaning. This story also teaches us patience. Humans did not rush. They respected time. They accepted slow progress. Many people today want fast success. They compare themselves to others. They feel pressure. The moon landing reminds us that great things take time. Time is not your enemy. Time is your partner when you use it well. As we reach the end of this journey, emotions grow deeper. This story is not far away. It is close to your life. The same human heart that reached the moon beats inside you. The same fear, hope, and effort live in you. History is not separate from life. History is a mirror. Now take a moment to feel this. You are part of the human story. You are capable of growth. You are allowed to dream. You are allowed to fail and try again. The moon landing is proof that humans are stronger than limits. As we move toward the conclusion, hold these lessons inside you. Believe before you see. Prepare before success. Move forward even with fear. These truths are simple, but they can change your life. The journey is almost complete, but the meaning is just beginning. How this story can change your life. Now listen to me carefully. This story is not only about the past. It is not only about the moon, rockets, or history books. This story is a message sent to you. It is a quiet but powerful message that says one simple truth. Humans grow when they try, not when they wait, not when they hide, not when they hope for perfect time. They grow when they try. Many people live small lives, not because they are weak, but because they are afraid. They dream inside their heads, but they do not act in the real world. They say one day, but that day never comes. Living small feels safe. It feels comfortable. You know what to expect. But comfort slowly kills dreams. Dreaming big feels dangerous, but it brings life. This is the contrast you must understand. Living small keeps you safe today. Dreaming big builds your future. The moon landing shows us this clearly. Humans could have stayed on Earth forever. They could have said, "This is enough." They could have watched the moon for another 1,000 years. But they did not. They chose to try. They chose action over waiting. They chose effort over excuses. That choice changed history. Your life works the same way. You can wait until you feel ready, or you can act while you are afraid. Waiting feels smart, but it often hides fear. Acting feels scary, but it creates change. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes after action. This is important. Many people say, "I will start when I feel confident," but confidence is built by starting. Learning English is a perfect example. If you wait to speak until you are perfect, you will never speak. If you wait to feel confident, confidence will never come. The right path is to speak first, make mistakes, feel uncomfortable, and continue. This is how confidence grows. The moon landing did not happen because people felt confident. It happened because they acted before confidence arrived. Now think about your goals. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you want to speak clearly. Maybe you want respect, freedom, or a better future. These goals feel far away, like the moon once did. It is easy to look at them and say, that is not for me. That is the voice of doubt. That voice keeps people small. The other voice says, let me try. That voice changes lives. Trying does not mean you must be perfect. Trying means you take one step, one small step. The moon landing reminds us that one small step can create a giant change. Practicing English for 5 minutes is a small step. Speaking one sentence is a small step. Applying for one opportunity is a small step. These steps look small today, but they build big results over time. Many people wait for motivation. They wait to feel inspired. But motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. The people who reached the moon did not feel motivated every day. They felt tired. They felt stressed. They felt afraid. But they stayed disciplined. Discipline is choosing to continue even when feelings are weak. This lesson can change your life if you understand it. Let me be honest with you. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It feels safe, but it keeps you stuck. Growth always lives outside comfort. When you speak English, even when you feel shy, you grow. When you try again after failure, you grow. When you choose effort over excuses, you grow. Growth is uncomfortable, but it is worth it. This story also teaches responsibility. When you choose to try, you take responsibility for your life. You stop blaming others. You stop waiting for permission. You become active, not passive. The moon landing happened because people took responsibility for a dream. Your life changes when you take responsibility for your growth. Now imagine your future if you apply these lessons. Imagine speaking English with confidence. Imagine not being afraid to express your ideas. Imagine chasing goals without waiting for perfect time. This future is possible, but only if you act. Dreams without action are just wishes. As we move toward the end of this story, I want you to feel something important. You are not too late. You are not too weak. You are not too small. You are human, and humans grow when they try. The same courage that reached the moon lives inside you. You do not need to go to space to prove it. You only need to take your next small step. Hold this feeling as we move forward. The story is coming to a close, but the message stays with you. What you do next matters. The next part will bring everything together. Stay with me. We have reached the end of this journey, but the message will stay with you. We started with doubt. Humans looked at the moon and believed it was impossible. It was far, silent, and unreachable. Fear was strong. Comfort felt safer than courage. But step by step, doubt slowly turned into belief. Humans stopped only looking up and decided to move forward. From Earth to the moon, from fear to courage, from dreaming to acting, this journey showed us what humans can do when they try. Think again about the path we followed. First, there was imagination. People dreamed but were afraid. Then came the decision to try. That decision was not easy. It was full of risk, criticism, and fear. After that came years of failure, practice, and patience. Rockets failed. Plans failed. People doubted again. But practice continued. Discipline grew. Confidence slowly formed. Then teamwork became the strength. Silent heroes worked together, trusted each other, and shared one goal. After that came the most dangerous journey ever taken, leaving safety behind, facing silence, danger, in the unknown. And finally, one small step changed history forever. This story teaches us simple but powerful ideas. Believe before you see results. Prepare before success. Fear does not mean stop. These ideas are not only for history, they are for your daily life. They are for learning English. They are for building confidence. They are for chasing your dreams. When you believe first, you keep moving even when progress is slow. When you prepare every day, you build strength. When you move forward with fear, you grow. Let us review some simple ideas and words together. Belief means trusting the process even when you cannot see results yet. Preparation means practicing again and again, even when no one is watching. Courage means moving forward while fear is still there. Discipline means showing up even when motivation is gone. These words are simple, but they can change your life if you live them. Remember this important truth. Every big success starts with one small step. The step on the moon was small, but its meaning was huge. Your steps may feel small today. Speaking one sentence, practicing for 5 minutes, trying again after a mistake. But these steps matter. Small steps done every day create big change over time. Do not look for fast success. Look for steady progress. Now I want to speak to you directly. You are capable of more than you think. You do not need perfect English to start speaking. You do not need full confidence to try. You do not need permission to improve your life. You only need one decision. The decision to try. The decision to move forward. The decision to take your next small step. Before we finish, I want to ask you a few questions. Think about them and share your thoughts as the comments. What part of this story inspired you the most? Which lesson touched your heart? What is one small step you will take after watching this video? Will you practice English today? Will you speak even if you feel shy? Will you choose effort over comfort? Your answers matter. This channel is not just about watching videos. It is about growing together. When you write in the comments, you become part of a learning community. You help others feel less alone. You remind yourself of your goals. Learning grows faster when we share it. In the next video, we will explore another powerful historical or motivational story, a story about human strength, struggle, and transformation. A story that will help you practice English and grow stronger inside. Stay with us on this journey. Every story is a new lesson. Every lesson is a new step forward. If this video helped you, please support the channel. Like the video so more learners can find it. Share it with someone who needs motivation today. Subscribe to Read and Learn English so you never miss a new story. This channel is here to help you learn English, build confidence, and believe in yourself, step by step, for free. As we say goodbye, remember this feeling. Hope, confidence, courage. You are not alone on your journey. Humans reach the moon by believing, preparing, and trying. You can reach your goals the same way. Keep learning, keep practicing, keep moving forward, one small step at a time.